You know, one of the things that just drives me and my wife crazy is in the popular media, the image of Christian faith that is put out there is just what you're describing. Yeah. Mean-spirited, narrow, angry, and hateful. And it just drives us crazy because there are so many folks and other clergy we work with in Chelmsford that are not that way at all. But we don't get the press. We're not, you know, we don't have the ear.
You do now.
Yeah,
good people right here, folks. Good people right here.
Yeah, you know, so that is frustrating. And I'm happy, you know, I'm part of the Episcopal Diocese of Massachusetts, and there are transgendered priests in our diocese, and our diocese is pushing very hard back against that. I'm thankful, having come up from the South. I miss some things about the South, you know, the East Carolina barbecue and the fried chicken, but there's some things I don't miss. And one thing I love up here is there is that openness and that sense that God's call in our lives is so much bigger than let's see how we can hurt people and kick people out. And you just can't find that when you look at Jesus. So it is frustrating, and if you can give me and our church ways to help, I think when we have you out, you know, this winter, that would be a real question, because our parish 20 years ago created a statement of inclusion. We don't have the sort of the welcoming format that you do, but came up with that statement, and it is central to the life of our parish, and it cost something for them to do that, but it's part of our DNA. So we always know, we never think, well, we finally arrived, you know, we've become perfectly whatever. So that would be really helpful. How can we practically help?
I think one of the things that can be done most assuredly is things like what we're doing right now. Things going and finding the marginalized people. Don't hope that the marginalized people find you.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to be found.
Yeah,
Sometimes we need to have those people that come to us and say, I know it's hard for you to trust us, but I want to help. We have this unique perspective of seeing things through the female lens and the male lens. And I know in a lot of historical cultures, the transgender community were religious leaders, were faith leaders. And I think it has a lot to do with that perspective of being able to see the male and female in everything, not just yourself. And I feel like that for some reason, faith has pushed that's a bad thing to be able to see things from multiple perspectives. So you're going to have people coming to you that are bringing an entire life of that.
Yeah.
And you've got to treat us sometimes with kid gloves, I guess. And then at other times, we're going to know a lot, depending on the situation. And I guess you have to accept the strengths and the weaknesses of the community and go find us. I think that's the big thing. Go find us and figure out a way to have us come. If you want us in your church, find us and get us there, I guess.
I think that's why our Welcoming Congregation Committee has been so committed to the Transgender Day of Remembrance service, and to do that every year as a way to be very public about saying, not only are you welcome here, but we honor what it costs you, that people lose their lives because others are afraid, and they're afraid, their fear turns to hate and violence. So I think that that's been really an important commitment.
When I went to this past one, there were trans people there that I have never met before.
Yeah. And sometimes that is the only thing that the folks will attend. They may never come back for anything else, and that's fine, you know. But I was also thinking about what happens sometimes within, what I've been seeing also within my congregation, which is, again, some of our young people and watching them kind of, that there's a culture or a invitation for young people to explore who they are in terms of their gender. And we, we have had one young person who grew up in the church who transitioned from male to female. And it was a very difficult time. I mean, she went through it sounds like a lot of things that you went through, and it was very scary for her parents. We've had a young person in our church who was female and was a male for a couple years and now is back to being female. And that's, and nobody's like, oh, wait a minute, you were this and now you're this and now you're back to this. You can't do that. There's no like, you have to stay. Once you've picked, you have to stay there.
That makes me smile to hear
Yeah,
that.
she kind of, went back and forth. And, it was shared with me today that another one of our young folks is transitioning from female to male, and we'll see. We've got time. We don't have to have it all figured out.
The fact that you allow them to feel safe enough
Yeah.
to explore and then say, maybe this isn't my authentic self,
Right.
that maybe this is, and to allow those avenues to be opened, those doors to be opened, is huge.
I mean, one of the great learnings that the transgender community has given me about is that sexuality is a continuum, and that gender is a continuum. And I think sometimes in religion we want to be given certainty. We want to be told exactly what we have to do to get everything to be okay. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. That's not what it means to be, we're just not given that gift. We're gonna die. We're gonna suffer. Things are not gonna go well. So I think, again, from my perspective, part of the purpose of religious community is to help each other build resilience, to be able to not fear life, but make our way through it.